So even the guys that are, say, 13, 14 stone racing are using a spring much softer than this one. Yeah.
But what are we actually doing today? While we're vlogging, I bought this Aprilia RSV4 early this year. It's taken me over a month and a half to actually ride this bike for the first time due to job changes. I went content creation full time and it just kept me so busy that I just simply did not have the time to ride. So I took this bike to Lake District for my first ever ride. Overall, I really like this bike, I really rate it. I did have an issue with it though, and that's suspension. And unfortunately, the suspension is so incredibly hard that it just took away all the pleasure from riding, really, because even going over potholes or speed bumps or things like this, the bike just like nothing was compressing. So I don't know whether I need changing the spring or what needs doing. But the good news is that I'm on my way to MCT Suspension. It's Darren, who owns the company, set up my GSXR. Someone filmed me going on the track, so they were right behind me for the whole time, but at a close distance, and we filmed a whole lap. And I posted it on Instagram, and when I messaged Darren and explained him roughly what my issues are, what I'm looking for, what I need, he said, oh yeah, I watched some of your videos on Instagram and your bike doesn't move and you probably need X, Y, and Z. Just from the video alone, he was able to tell me that my suspension is not good, it needs service, it probably needs oil change. He said take the forks and a shock of the bike and then bring it to me. So I did just that. I think it's taken about a week or two for him to message me back saying everything is ready, and there is a video on my Instagram where he explains what he's done. And basically what he did do was he serviced the forks. He said the oil was wrong, he said so many things were wrong. We got away with not changing the spring. I think he managed to like adjust it, and obviously this being a track bike, I couldn't test it until I took it to track again. And my next track was in Andalusia, and I remember day one the bike felt so different, like to the point that I messaged him and I was like, Darren, is this what the bike actually is supposed to feel like? Because it gives me so much feedback. It feels so soft. And he said, yeah, that's exactly what the bike's supposed to do. And it just gave me so much more confidence. I started braking later. I did an accidental stop here as well, which really scared me, but it was really funny. What's funny is probably lifted up by about 5 millimeters, but it felt like 12 o'clock to me. I felt like top track. Seeing the difference that it made to my bike, having my suspension set up appropriately. Ever since, this is what I'm telling everyone. If you buy a new bike, your first priority, your first modification should always be setting up the suspension appropriately for yourself. And so this is what we're doing with Aprilia. Right now I am absolutely soaked. My leathers are so wet. My base layer is so wet. Yes, it was, yeah. Oh, see, nearly missed it. Oh, there we go. MCT. Hello? It's so wet. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I didn't know it's gonna piss down all the way. Yeah, like my leathers are absolutely soaked and my everything's. You look younger.
I am younger.
You look good.
I'm probably 5 years younger.
Do you need me to sit on it?
No, that's okay now. I've got it up on the stand because we're not lowering it. I don't need to sit on it at the moment.
Oh, okay, cool.
A rough rule of thumb of what works is to believe the person you're working with and nobody else.
Why is it so hard though? Does it come
Because it's a sports
Stock
bike.
or?
It's a sports bike should be, to a certain extent, should be firm because it gives stability, high-speed
Yes.
stability. But there is a point where it's too firm. One of the biggest problems we have is not the bike, but our roads. The roads are equally as responsible for your bike as the suspension. Again, when you look at this bike, when you're looking at the customer base and the client, you're probably not what they were looking for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're looking for, you know, well, guys that probably couldn't even ride them anyway, but they can spend the money. Do you know what I mean? They're twice your size, but also, so someone, this bike used on the track with someone, say, 13, 14 stone, it will be fine, because there's no bumps.
Yes.
And they've got enough weight to get the spring working, but for a lighter rider, it's just way too hard. Absolutely way too hard. So I'm going to take the shock out and just run it through a couple of tests, and then that'll tell me the spring, how close the spring is. So I just had a quick feel of the shock to get an idea of how much sag and things it had. So now I'm going to take the shock out and I'm going to measure how much, what they call preload there is on the spring. So how much the spring has been pushed down by those adjusters.
Do you look after the racers or
Not anymore,
is that just
no,
like
because
normal customers?
I had to probably, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, I got ridiculous. So, because I used to do rally cars, race suspension for
you do
super
cars
bikes
as
and stuff
well?
like that, yeah. And I got up to about an 8-month waiting list, between 8 and 10 months, and I just said, oh, I cannot cope with this anymore. So what I'm doing now, I'm just measuring the compressed length of the spring, and then we'll take the spring off and measure it off of the shock, and that will tell us how much shorter it is. So basically how much preload there is on the spring. And then what we can do is look at the spring rate, but I know immediately that's too firm for you. So even the guys that are, say, 13, 14 stone racer, they're using a spring much softer than this one.
Really?
Yeah. And then look at the valving as well. Plastic drift to just knock that off because the weather's already got in there and it's seized on.
Sigh of relief.
Yeah.
What would you have to do if it didn't work?
Well, the next thing would be to heat it up. Well, how old is this bike?
2018.
Crazy.
So 8 years?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to clean that up even more. Next thing, just measure the spring preload. The preload is how much you're compressing the spring when it's on the shock. So you're preloading it. And that's only got 5 mil of preload on, which is about half where you'd need to be. So good to just get it clean, really. What got you into bikes then?
But you know what? I always thought they fucking cool, and I always thought the bikers are really cool when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Every time I saw one, I was like, oh my god, they're such a like superhero film character kind of thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, look who it is.
Collins.
Yeah. Do you want to answer it?
MCT Suspension, how can I help? He wants to make his bike super fast.
Yeah.
Because it's not fast enough. Even though he turned all the power off recently.
Tell Bob I'm doing your bike so you can kick his butt next when you do that track day together. So these are the shims that bend and let the oil pass through the orifice, if you like, the oil ways. So that shim covers those holes up, and then you stack them in a tapered assembly so that they basically act, if anyone knows like what a leaf spring works like on a car, basically the shim will bend on the smaller shim. So changing the thickness and the configuration of those is what we need to do. It's to change how much pressure is needed to open them and how they open. Is probably the easiest way to describe it. This is a machine that vacuums all of the air out of the shock and then holds that vacuum, and then pressure fills it with oil. So when you're finished, the the shock will be full of oil and hopefully no air. Set the piston height for the divider, which is where the gas chamber sits. That has to sit in a specific place. So get the piston bottomed to probably 6 to 7 mil is where you need to be on that piston on this one. So just leave that there for a second in case there's any air in it. Do you find one end worse than the other?
I think the back, yeah.
Back is worse, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because like looking at the travel as well, it seems to be traveling okay, right? For the
Yes. Yeah, a travel indicator is okay, but it doesn't tell you a great deal, because if you say in 10,000 miles hit one serious pothole,
right.
in 10,000 miles it may have only bottomed out once. So people would look at it and say, I've used all my travel, I've got a problem.
Right, but it might have been just one occurrence.
Yeah, I'd say probably one of the biggest things in the industry is people using a travel tie to create problems, not cure them. The biggest issue is the valving, so we'll just revalve it and see how you feel on it.
Okay, so we're changing this, you're giving
We're
me
changing
something.
this, yeah. So this is a spring cup. You can see the distance on it.
Oh, okay.
So we're reducing the preload on the spring by that amount.
Much, yeah.
So we'll be removing about 6 mil of preload, which will give us a better range of adjustment on your spring.
So is this my spring or is that?
This is
new
your
one?
spring at the moment, yes. Yeah.
So we live in the same spring in?
We are leaving the same spring on for now. Yeah. I just want to try some stuff.
Oh, okay.
See if we can get it good enough without changing the spring. If it needs a spring, we'll have to get a spring.
Oh, like order?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's this is a bit out of the ordinary, this spring rate that we would need on here. So it's not something that most people would carry in stock. We are, watch, you'll see. So we're undoing the caps, taking the weight of the bike, then dropping the front end down. So the good thing with an Öhlins fork is it's designed to be worked on in situ. So you can do spring changes, valving, oil level changes, everything with the fork still in.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it's a race fork.
Understood. That's cool. Again, another thing I had no idea about.
When you're working on the Öhlins forks, the anodizing is very, very soft. So when you're working on the fork, you normally only use that, which is a plastic spanner.
Oh,
wow. And that saves any marks, so that when the bike leaves here, the cap looks brand new. It isn't full of scratches and things like that where someone's done it. Particularly on the Öhlins, these threads are unbelievably sharp. So sometimes when you finish working on them, blood starts appearing everywhere. And you've got 5 beautiful cuts where the thread has cut your hands open, yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can see these caps have had, someone's wound the preload all the way off on them, and you can see it's damaged the cap all the way around, particularly there, look.
Yeah.
Whoever's adjusted your bike has destroyed the cap. We're gonna check the spring rate, and we're also going to check the oil level in the forks as well.
Okay.
But that cap the nut is very stiff on the thread, so rather than destroy the threads, I'll just lock those 2 nuts together, hold that still, and then that will release that bottom nut.
Oh, I see, okay.
So it's just a way of getting that one released without actually over clamping this top one, so you don't damage anything. Then I'm going to check, see how strong the spring is. There's a code on the fork that'll tell you how strong the spring is, but it's always better to just check and make sure.
Yeah.
Pretty much every original equipment manufacturer has a plus-minus tolerance,
Yeah.
which you don't obviously want to be dealing with. So you make sure you know what the spring rate is. We have seen lots of 0.95 springs taken out and another pair of 9.5s put in because people didn't check what was in there. So buying a pair of springs that you don't actually need.
Right.
Yeah, so we're already way too hard and I've not even finished yet. So
And that's stock spring?
That's your stock spring, yeah,
Yeah,
25.5 divided by 25 mil that's compressed. So that is a lot of people would say that was a 10.2 spring. So for you, that is too firm. Are you going to be using this bike on track at all?
As it stands, it's not going to go on track.
Right.
So that's how you check the oil level?
Yeah, that is how I'm going to quickly just check the oil level as a guide to see where we are. So that one's 140. Only about 3 mil out, so that's pretty close. Even if your fork was like if I put the fulcrum there, no matter where your oil level goes, the middle stays the same. So the middle of the oil level is always the same. Okay. It just goes higher and lower at either end. I am going to change the oil level, yeah, so I'm raising the oil level up. So I'm going to soften the spring and raise the oil level. So we're going to soften the top of the stroke to give you more stability, more comfort and feel, and then use the air spring to support the bottom of the stroke to stop them bottoming out. So the initial part of the movement will be softer, and as it goes to a stroke, it will gradually stiffen up quite quickly at the bottom of the stroke, as opposed to what they run at the moment, which is quite a stiff spring and low oil level, so the compression of the fork is completely linear. So what we're doing is we're taking a linear stroke and converting it to a progressive stroke.
Okay.
So if we get the spring right for your weight and the original oil level, the fork, you'll have the stability, but you won't have the braking performance.
Okay.
And vice versa. If we give you braking performance and leave the stiffer spring in, it will be really uncomfortable, like it is.
Okay.
So
it's basically just like a perfect combination of the spring and oil level.
Yeah. You've got two springs in your forks. One is the metal spring,
which is the one that you're changing.
Yeah, and the other spring is the amount of air in your fork.
Okay.
You're always working in the same field. You're always dealing with the least amount of compromise. The bike, there will be no perfect because you're using it for loads of different things.
Yes, exactly.
So it's got a full tank of fuel, empty tank of fuel. Occasionally someone might have a passenger not. They might go steady. They might go out for half an hour lap as fast as they can go. You're looking for the bike to work probably 90-95% as well as it can on all of them. If you make it work 100%
on one
thing, it will be 40% on something else.
Yes. Because I'm thinking about like upgrading mine, because although I do love it, I feel like I now really start feeling the age of it, in terms of like where it doesn't. I can put a quick shifter, but I can't put a blip on it. It looks like a cushion now compared to what it was. You can make it work with the spring that wash?
It's going to be a huge amount better. Whether, it depends. It's the same. It depends how good you want it. It's always the same thing. You can keep going, you can keep spending, and you can keep making it better. It doesn't stop. So the choice really would be yours. If it's enough, it's enough. If it's not, then it will need a spring. Like I said before, the valving was the biggest issue. So I need to get the shock in with this spring on to see how much of it is the spring and how much of it is that. At the end of it, I'll know, how we feel, but I'm just going through the process now of finding the like cracking a safe, the combination of all the settings.
Okay, I see.
So we'll see.
Going now to test how the current suspension setting is feeling, if there is a big difference, and whether I feel comfortable and confident as it is now. It's better, definitely, but I went through like some potholes and it's still quite stiff.
Yep.
So it doesn't feel like it travels as the road goes.
Okay.
Like this, you know?
All right, so I'll change the setting and try it again. Okay. There you go. See how that feels. That'll give us an idea of what the issue is.
Okay.
So front.
It moves so much more.
Yes.
But I don't feel planted in it much.
Right, okay. So we'll put a softer spring in and see how it feels. This is just a quick change, so it doesn't take too long to just change the spring over, but see if that gives you the feel that you need. Looking at the bike and what it's made for, if you know what I mean, so it will never be a super plush road bike.
Of course.
If it was a super plush road bike, it would be bottoming out everywhere, and you also wouldn't be able to use your brakes.
So I'm trying to go by how the Gixxer feels.
Yes. Have you ridden the GSX-R on the road with the suspension done? So you don't feel the same?
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you rode this on the track,
Yeah.
take away the bumps,
Yeah.
you'd feel a really good connection.
Yeah.
But because you're quite light, and that's a sports bike that's really stiff,
Yeah.
you're always going to feel a little bit. I'd say on a bike like that, it's going to be firm in places, which is acceptable, but if it's harsh, that's too much. So
Yeah, like before you would like shoot me off the seat basically.
yeah. So this you'll never get this so that you can ride it over a pothole and it doesn't feel firm. It will always feel like that. It has to be a certain amount of support because you need the bike to be good on the brakes because they've got massive brakes on them. So the bikes have to be stable and comfortable.
What does it mean that this bike's got a lot of brakes on it?
A lot of brakes. So it's got very powerful brakes. So the size of the rotor, the size of the disc, and the caliper, these have got very, very powerful brakes on them. So a powerful brake with a very soft fork, you'd have very little control. So do you watch MotoGP?
Yeah.
Paco Bagnaia complaining just recently that he had no feel from the front end.
Yes.
So what they did was they increased the size of the discs so that when he pulled the brake on, it pitched more forward, giving him the feel he needed.
Oh. So how much softer is this spring?
We're going 10% softer. That's made a big difference, it has.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to get on a sports bike a certain level of stiffness because it is a sports bike. It's made for riding fast. It's not a touring bike with loads of suspension travel. So physics say now with some of the massive potholes we have, there's no way a 120mm fork could cope with it because it literally doesn't have enough stroke to soak it up nicely. So it's just a compromise of stability, comfort and usability really. So you're looking for the bike to work well, but you know it's still got to be stable at speed because you're going to ride it fast. You can't just wind everything off and ride it with really soft suspension.
Yeah, it has to be.
It has to be firm enough to be able to handle and still turn nicely, that sort of stuff. So say that shim is a 22mm. I've got that shim in 0.3, 0.25, 0.2, 0.2, 0.15, 0.1 of a mil. So it's not just the overall diameter, it's the thickness of the shim. So it's the thickness of the shim, how many there are and how you configure them, which gives you your dampen characteristics. So that's the bit that makes the biggest difference, just those simple washers. So on a shock, say a TTX GP shock is say £1,400 now. The most important bit of it, you could argue, is about £2 worth of washers. But the difference it makes is, if you know what you're doing with them, is staggering. The rubber is starting to perish a bit. So at the moment they're fine, but you just want to keep an eye on them.
Riding to Grey Bentley from MCT, and obviously this is going to put the bike to a test. I did run the road up and down here, which you saw. You have to forgive me that last bit of the video where we were just kind of giving the summary. I'm sorry, it is filmed on the phone and it doesn't have the microphones, even though you can see them on the video, basically I forgot to press record on the Ace Pro. Basically overall the bike feels so much better. It's hard to describe, like it feels so much better on the brakes. Actually I feel like the front is compressing now versus before. It just didn't feel like it was compressing at all. And yeah, the bike travels so much more now. Okay, fine. So the full fuel tank was 26. Oh, look at the sky! It really lighten up. It's really nice now, no? And this is going to get really busy really soon. Little summary on how the bike feels, and it really does feel so much better. The race suspension just gives you so much confidence. I can feel the bike moving. I feel planted, feel the bike planted on the road. Cornering is so much better, braking into the corners so much better. Like honestly, I will deeply say that I will always deeply suggest that if you get in a new bike, your priority always should be setting the suspension up, because this is just gonna give you so much more confidence. It will just help you ride better. Yeah, even like running through the potholes right now, and the bike finally doesn't try to throw me off a bloody seat. But yeah, that place that you just saw as well, that's Grey Bentley in Essex, not far from Colchester. There is a meet every Wednesday. It always gets busy. This is it in terms of suspension. Hope you enjoyed it, and then hope you're gonna enjoy this little sunset ride home. See you on the next one.
Burn up in the heat, you quench your thirst on this feeling. I'll let the flames take me high, burn down the whole damn sky. I spent the night on the sea, drank the whole weight of my being. I saw the fire in his eyes. Oh, it don't feel wrong, but I know damn well it ain't right. Down where the hicks hang, where the dirt drinks, where the sun stings, and they all know it's the wrong road, but they still go, yeah, they still go. Fucking long days getting longer, and the dark days getting darker, but you know it's hard. I remember fucking dead boy at the altar.
No, do you know what I shout, Stephen? Have you seen that video of the horse? Fucking hell! Fuck! What? This fucking thing is so fast, it's ridiculous. Bye, it was nice meeting you. Nice to meet you. Oh.
Good to see you, boy. Andrew, man.
Bye. Bye.
I've done 65 miles.
Again. Bye, baby. Love you, mate. Catch you next time.
Yeah, if we do something Sunday, I'll go.
I'm going to Crazy Horse tomorrow if anyone's coming. Good luck, boss.
No, because like it makes me feel horrible that you like I ignored you like something fucking good.